America is back. That was the message Trump delivered in his 2025 address to Congress. And if you're hoping for a return to sanity, a rejection of the radical left, and a push to get the government out of your way, well, you got a lot of that. Gearing up for 2026, we now see the platform conservatives will be running on from now until Election Day. Today, we're going to break down the speech, what Trump got right, where he went off course, what real conservatives will be looking like in 2025. Trump's push to avoid World War III was one of the strongest parts of his speech. NATO today isn't about protecting the West, it's about protecting the ruling class. And Ukraine, after hundreds of billions of dollars sent, what do we have? No strategy, no endgame, just escalation. That's not in America's interest. Instead of being a pawn in another globalist conflict, we should be strong at home, securing our own borders, rebuilding our own economy, and letting Europe handle its own mess for once. Trump is absolutely right. Our border is a war zone. Under Biden, the U.S. saw 7 million illegal crossings, more than the population of 36 of our states. Fentanyl overdosings are killing 100,000 Americans a year, more than the entire Vietnam War. Cartels are operating inside the U.S. with gangs like Tren de Aragua running human trafficking rings. This isn't immigration, it's an invasion. And let's be clear, this isn't an accident. The left needs new voters. Corporate America wants cheap labor, and the cartels are making billions off human trafficking. Trump's plan? Immediate military deployment to the border, mass deportations, and an end to sanctuary cities. This is exactly what should have happened on day one of the last administration. And here's the truth. We don't need new laws to secure the border. We just need to enforce the ones we already have. If Congress drags its feet on funding mass deportations, they should be held accountable in 2026. Trump's economic plan has some wins and some mistakes. Cutting 10 regulations for every new one, that's exactly what we need. Ending the Green New Deal, killing EV mandates, and pulling out of the corrupt World Health Organization. All good moves. But let's talk tariffs, because this is where things go off track. Tariffs can be useful when applied smartly, targeting actual unfair trade practices, like we see with the EU. But when you slap tariffs on Canada and Mexico, you're not just punishing the globalists, you're punishing American consumers. Canada is not cheating us. So companies are moving to Canada and Mexico, not because they hate America or they're trying to cheat us, but it's because those governments have made it easier to do business. Instead of hitting them with tariffs, why aren't we fixing the root problem here at home? If our government wasn't hostile to business, we wouldn't need trade barriers to keep companies out, and that's what's happening. This is why conservatives should be about free markets and competition like we have been historically, not government picking winners and losers. One of Trump's most underappreciated moves was restructuring a bloated government office into the Department of Government Efficiency. This wasn't about growing the size of government, it was about cutting the waste that career bureaucrats thrive on. They uncovered hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, including money sent to fake Social Security recipients, absurd DEI programs overseas, and even gender studies in Pakistan. This is exactly what we need more of. Not more agencies, not more bureaucracy, just someone willing to find the waste and shut it down. And speaking of DEI, it's finally dead. Finally, DEI was never about fairness. It was about division. It was about replacing merit with politics. Hiring based on race, gender, and ideology instead of skill. That's how you destroy a nation. Banning DEI in government isn't radical, it's common sense. And every Republican governor should be following Trump's lead on this today. President Trump's vision is clear. America first in trade, but he's a bit misguided in tariffs, and I hope he gives it a rethink. As 2026 approaches, we'll be watching what progress Trump makes and where the movement needs to keep pushing. The globalists aren't going to give up. The deep state certainly isn't going away. And if we want to take our country back, we need to be smarter, stronger, and more relentless than ever. Here's where we need to be focusing. First, Russia's security guarantees. Trump's new missile defense plan, a new Star Wars initiative, is a great idea, but it may require a new arms treaty with Russia to avoid an arms race we can't win with our current industrial output. Second is military readiness. Right now, it takes 3 years to build a submarine, and we're already behind on fleet numbers. China is outpacing us in shipbuilding by a 6-to-1 ratio. Third, we have a two-theater war problem. The US doesn't have the capacity to fight a 2.5 theater war, the likely scenario for World War III. Trump highlighted recruitment has improved, but we're still way behind. Fourth is our Africa strategy. It's a huge blind spot. China's beating us in Africa, not with war, but with infrastructure, trade, and diplomacy. Key wars are already happening in Sudan, the Congo, and Cameroon. Africa is a battleground for resources, influence, and alliances. And unlike Europe, Africa actually likes us. Now, I know this isn't a sexy conversation to have with the voters, but it is a crucial battlefield. If we ignore it, China's going to win, so it needs to be at the front of your mind. As candidates and campaigns prepare for the off-year election, we'll be watching the progress the president makes in the coming months. We've exposed the deep state, we've beaten back the globalists, but the job isn't finished. The next 18 months will decide the future of this country. Now, be sure to drop a comment below and let's talk. And always like, share, and subscribe for real conservative analysis, not the corporate media spin. Good luck on the campaign.